Products liability, it goes back to a strict liability type of situation. With products liability, it breaks down into three subcomponents. Essentially, you have what's called design defects, manufacturing defects, and then there's a third category called warning defects. A design defect is essentially something's wrong with the design of the product itself. The design of the product is inherently dangerous. You may recall the Ford Pinto cases that occurred, a few years back, where they had put the gas tank in the back of the car. And so when there was rear-end collisions, the car would go up in flames. That was a design defect. The next issue you're going to run into is manufacturing defects. This doesn't mean the product's inherently dangerous, but what it does mean is the specific product, something's wrong with that product, whether it be a screw being loose, whether it be a weld being improperly placed. Something went wrong in the manufacturing of that product that made it inherently dangerous when you go to use it. The third category that would break down to would be a warning defect or a marketing defect, as they call it. You may recall the McDonald's, the hot coffee case. That was a warning case, meaning there was not proper warning to let an individual know that that coffee was dangerous, that it could cause significant burns, which it did in that case. One common area of the warning defects as well would be medications. If they don't provide what type of symptoms you may experience. If you get prescribed a medication, and it causes drowsiness, you drive a vehicle, you end up getting in an accident. Those are type of warning defect cases. Normally when you have product liability cases, the biggest challenge you're going to face is the money on the other side. For the most part, when you get these cases in, it's against bigger corporations, and they don't want to admit that their product's defective. It's not something where they automatically say, you're right, we were wrong. They want to fight it out, and it's a tough fight. That's why you need an attorney to help you with it. Number one thing, and I would say this in every single case, is to make sure you get the medical treatment you need immediately. The second thing I would recommend is to preserve the product, whatever it be, whether it be a medication, whether it be a product that something's defective with it, a blender, a wheelchair, however, a walker. Whatever's wrong, the product is to make sure you keep it in the condition it's in. A lot of times the corporation will come back to you and they'll ask for the product. They'll try and buy it back from you. You need to make sure you don't do that, because ultimately once the product's gone, it's gone. You need to preserve it because your attorney is going to want to have that product tested later on to show why it was a defective product. And then third, and probably the most important of all three of those categories, is to make sure you meet with an experienced personal injury attorney that has some experience litigating these type of cases. The product's going to need to be preserved. It's going to have a chain of custody to make sure that it hasn't been changed in any shape or manner. You're also going to want to have an expert hired. An expert, depending on the product, it could be a variety of different people. But essentially, the product needs to be tested to find out why it did what it did, why it's defective, why it caused the injury that it did. These corporations, they don't go down willingly. They're not going to put up money willingly. It's not an easy process. And typically, it's big versus little. And we're here to fight for the little guys. We're here to make sure you get the compensation you deserve.